we get started, obviously, I'm sure everybody's heard the news by now that I will not be returning to ESPN. I found out this information a little earlier in the week.
Only for Tyler Perry to admit he did start a rumor that I was difficult to work with. He lied. Only for Tyler Perry to admit I was wrong.
All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is, TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all.
Shannon Sharpe. Stage 1. Extended. 2x longer. Shannon Sharpe stunned fans and the media when he announced that he would not be returning to ESPN. On the surface, it seemed like a standard career move, but almost instantly, the story started unraveling into something much deeper. Shannon admitted he had learned the news earlier in the week, yet before the dust could settle, whispers turned into headlines. Tyler Perry's name suddenly got dragged into the mess, with shocking claims that he had spread false rumors about Shannon being difficult to work with. Whether true or not, that revelation lit the fuse, and it was clear this wasn't just a goodbye from ESPN, it was the start of a storm. Then came the real cultural shift. First, Cat Williams sat down on Shannon's couch, and what was supposed to be a straightforward interview turned into an internet takeover. Cat dropped raw claims, wild stories, and bold names that had the timeline on fire for days. Clips spread like wildfire, dominating feeds until you couldn't scroll without seeing them. And just as the internet caught its breath, Monique walked in with her blackballing story, receipts in hand, calling out Hollywood power players and demanding accountability. Overnight, Club Shay Shay transformed from a sports podcast into something much bigger. A confessional booth, a witness stand, a vault where secrets were suddenly spilled live. For Shannon, this newfound spotlight was powerful, but it was also dangerous. The bigger the interviews got, the more it felt like he wasn't just the host anymore, he was becoming part of the story. Stage 2A's Cat Williams' explosive sit-down continued to dominate the internet. Shannon Sharpe's couch became the most talked-about stage in the culture. Cat's unfiltered stories and fearless name-dropping didn't just trend for a day, they shook the timeline for weeks. Suddenly, Shannon wasn't just interviewing, he was pulling back the curtains on Hollywood secrets people weren't supposed to hear. Then Monique followed, dropping bombshells of her own and exposing how power players blackballed her, breaking down deals gone sour and naming names without hesitation. What started as viral entertainment was now turning into something much heavier. Shannon's show had transformed into a vault of forbidden truths, a place where stars with nothing to lose spoke with no filters and no fear. The energy shifted. This wasn't casual podcasting anymore. Every episode felt like a revelation, every clip a cultural earthquake. But with each bombshell came a new level of danger. The couch wasn't just furniture. It was the witness stand of the internet age. And as guests poured out their truths, Shannon unknowingly stepped deeper into the crossfire, blurring the line between interviewer and headline. Stage 3. The spotlight. That once lifted Shannon Sharpe quickly turned into a target. After the Cat Williams and Monique interviews, whispers of backlash started swirling, and the energy around him grew colder. Then came the late-night IG Live, a moment Shannon likely wishes had stayed buried. He didn't hide behind excuses, he admitted it, addressed it on his show, and tried to move forward. But the internet never forgets. Memes, jokes, and harsh takes flooded timelines, with some laughing it off and others calling it a career-ending mistake. Just as the noise began to fade, a lawsuit hit like a hammer. A $50 million case accusing Shannon of assault exploded into headlines, fueled by leaked audio clips spreading non-stop across social media. Fans split in two, some saying, "Let the court decide," while others treated those short clips like undeniable truth. Behind the scenes, brands and partners went silent. Shannon was still on camera, still showing up, but the air had changed. The viral couch that once made him a star now painted a bullseye on his back. Suddenly, people weren't just asking if he slipped up, they were asking if someone had set the trap. Stage 4. The chaos didn't stop with lawsuits and viral clips. It followed Shannon Sharpe straight into his career. ESPN confirmed they were cutting ties, a move that sent shockwaves across sports and entertainment. For fans, it felt less like business and more like punishment. The timing was brutal, landing right next to a huge family milestone, casting a shadow over what should have been a proud moment. Shannon's departure wasn't a farewell celebration. It was a quiet exit that left supporters stunned and critics smirking. Still, the podcast kept thriving. Club Shay Shay was breaking records, clips were everywhere, and Shannon's name stayed, in rotation. But the tone had shifted. Without the ESPN badge, he wasn't just the host with the viral couch, he became the story himself. And things only got messier. Another lawsuit dropped, this time a $20 million defamation case tied to comments about a celebrity's marriage. Whether the filings later got dismissed or not didn't matter. The headlines stuck, the internet debated nonstop, and Shannon's reputation carried another scar. To some, it looked like Hollywood was striking back after he gave stars the freedom to speak raw truths. To others, it felt like Shannon's growing spotlight simply left no room for error. Either way, the hits kept coming, and the pressure was boiling over. Stage 5, by the summer of 2025, Shannon Sharpe's journey had transformed into something far bigger than sports commentary. The same interviews that made him a cultural force also turned him into a lightning rod for controversy. Every move was under a microscope, every word a potential headline. Fans debated whether he was being sabotaged for exposing Hollywood secrets or if his own slip-ups had stacked too high to survive. Either way, Shannon was no longer just the referee of the culture. He was now the center of the drama. The lawsuits, the late-night missteps, the job loss, the constant rumors, each chapter pushed him further from the safe world of sports media into the dangerous arena of cultural warfare. Brands stayed silent, colleagues pulled back, and the industry seemed to wait for him to either rise or collapse. Yet, even with his back against the wall, Shannon kept showing up. The podcast still thrived, clips still went viral, and fans still tuned in, proving that his voice hadn't been silenced. Now, the question looms. Was Shannon Sharpe taken down by a system that couldn't handle unfiltered truth? Or did the weight of fame and mistakes finally catch up with him? Whatever the answer, one thing is certain. His next move won't just define his career, it will decide whether this was his breaking point or the beginning of his greatest comeback.